even only maybe a couple of 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
If you live in another state, a warm state down south, you can drive it year round. You can have fun with it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's more older cars in the southern part of the country,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
like Oklahoma, even Oklahoma, which is next to Texas. It's one
Georgia.
Of the, I heard it's one of the best places.
What?
Oklahoma, I heard it's one of the best
Really?
places for getting cars that aren't rotted.
Not rather.
But there aren't too many cars left that haven't been discovered. Years ago, 20, 30 years ago, there was a lot of cars that were hiding. People put them away. They died. They felt they passed away, and no one even knew the car was in the barn.
Wow.
That's why they called it a barn find.
Barn find.
Yeah. Right?
Yep.
So now, those cars have all been found. If you find cars now, it's like a miracle.
Old ones.
Old ones, yeah,
So
hidden inside of a garage
Oh yeah.
or inside of a barn that no one knows about, and the person died. Today, you know, they've already searched and found it. So, the rarer the car, and the more powerful it is, and the options that came from the factory.
We are talking about muscle cars. Muscle cars.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, any car that has power. And then there's a lot of cars out there that people like the body styles of, and they fall in love with the body style. So today, if you're thinking about putting a car away, you know, you're gonna want. You don't know what 20 years or 30 years from now what someone's gonna look at. But you look at the cars today, and they all got plastic bumpers and this and that. Those cars won't last. They're not gonna last 50 or 100 years. They're gonna fall apart. I don't think there's anything out there that anybody would want to really put away. Might want to put a Corvette away. I'm sure there's somebody that's already done that. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I like the looks of Jeeps. I really don't. I don't like driving. I think it's a toy.
Yeah.
People love them.
Yeah.
People really, really love them. I like the looks of them. And I think a lot of people look at Jeeps and because the body style hasn't changed much in 40 years, 50 years. The first Jeeps that were made, I believe it was 1941. And it was for the military. The United States military.
Huh.
And it was, yeah, I'm positive it was 1941. But, I mean, I wasn't born until 1959, so obviously they've been around for quite a long time. So that's 80 years. Next year will be 80 years of Jeeps. Jeeps. That was the first Jeep. And then from there, you look at, like, I remember the Jeep Wagoneer. Now, in mid-condition of Jeep Wagoneer, or Grand Wagoneer, the big one, V8 engine, they're worth approximately $40,000 to $50,000, sometimes even more, if they're original. And I remember selling those Jeeps for $500.
Wow.
And no one wanted to buy them because they were gas guzzlers. They get about 6 to 8 miles to the gallon, and they have big carburetors. And when the carburetors get dirty, the trucks don't run right. But now, when I think back, 40, that was 1970s. So that would be approximately 45 years ago. And you get into one of those, and it's compared to the cars today, it's like being in your living room on your the best couch that you own. And they're so smooth. I mean, they were like really ahead of their time, and yet no one liked them. There was just like this very small group of people that would buy them so that they could pull their trailer or pull their boat. But they really didn't. They didn't fall in love with them. They just bought them so they could pull their trailer or pull their boat. And now, almost 50 years later, people love them. And you know what? I wouldn't mind owning one. Same thing with the old Toyota Land Cruisers, the 1980s Toyota Land Cruisers. No one wanted them. They were ugly. And now they look beautiful. If you find one, they can go up to $60,000, $70,000 restored. And the old Land Cruisers that first came into this country, I believe it was 1951, the first Land Cruiser came into the United States. Those were just rock climbers. Those were uncomfortable. No one, I mean, they were just really oddball, but they wanted to get them into this country for some reason. They didn't really sell them in volume. I mean, I worked for Toyota dealerships for 10 years, and I don't think I ever sold one. Imagine that. Not selling one Toyota Land Cruiser in 10 years. I mean, that's pretty incredible. That just goes to show you. But maybe some of the thing is the value is the rarity of that vehicle. And the fact that Toyota has such a good name and built up such a good reputation that the people that live in the rural areas like the looks of it. They like the fact that they can off-road with it. So that's just talking a little bit about Toyota Land Cruisers. So we can talk about other cars later.
Yeah. Thank you, John.